today exactly about the holiday. But for years, even when I was the president of the Civic, I tried to get the city to listen to me about absentee landlords. Absentee landlords are no different than that guy selling us a newspaper. You're doing a lot of things to help people start a legitimate business, but you're not doing anything to address the illegal businesses. Philadelphia is a perfect environment for black market economy. You can offer all the things in the world to help people get a business started, but if you're running illegal businesses, how do you tax that?
Well, one of the things is we don't have the resources to the discovery because we spend a lot of time chasing down certain things.
You cut the people that you need for enforcement. You've actually, it's like Randall went around getting rid of all the people that check on gas wells and then saying there's no problem.
Well, actually,
you need more enforcement.
In our freshman 15 class, our freshman 15 proposal, one of the things that we were able to do, I've been in the tax collection business in terms of the city, in terms of legislation, regulation, and policy, because I think it's one of the worst. Part of the problem that we have around collecting the stuff that you see out there or that you don't see out there is an issue of resources. That's one of the things that this bill that I propose makes sense. We would take 50,000 of our 84,000 business filers off the books. What does that allow us to do? It allows us to take all the staff that is sitting there calculating these tax returns and allows them to shift to what we call discovery. Discovery allows us to cross-file who's filing federal taxes, state taxes, all of those things to find out who is in our economy that isn't paying their fair share. As it relates specifically to absentee landlords, one of the bills that was passed and was introduced by Marion Taskell at the request of the second PDAC, because of all the absentee landlords, we are now requiring absentee landlords to have a locally based realtor or someone who's managing the property and that be posted on the house. That was a bill that we passed in the spring that we're now writing up the regulations to enforce. So if you're an absentee landlord, we have to be able, and you have to file with the city who's managing that property so that we can get
Just interject, from my perspective, what I've seen over the years was you did have a good bill. Mariano actually, God bless him, actually put it in place. He had the Landlord-Tenant Act and no one enforced it. It was supposed to benefit both the landlords and the tenants. But what I've seen happen is, you see, and if you actually wanted to start a one-man task force, I'm handicapped. I'll tell you, I'll take 1% of all the money I bring into the city and I'll be a millionaire. Okay? Because I can sit there right now with an internet connection and free access, I can sit there and shake down all the people that are not paying their taxes just for a free internet connection. You got a lot of people through it. Most of these absentee landlords got paying 20 houses. If they're not paying their taxes, then the tax-paying people are actually supporting illegal business. The taxpayer is actually supporting some rich guy who lives in Maryland or Virginia Beach or New York or somewhere. These guys got a lot of money. So they're not paying the city, they're not paying the state, and they're not paying the federal government.
Well, I think,
and what I find out the problem is, and I did a little research, there's a few people in Philadelphia that actually own some real estate that are probably doing the same thing. So if you got your own people renting houses and make a little extra income that they're not paying taxes on, then the people who work for the city are actually not enforcing it because they're afraid they're going to get caught.
Well,
and I don't want to name names right now, but it was a high-profile name working for the housing authority.
Well, I think one of the things that we have done to improve the system a little bit better, for instance, every year when there are rental license renewals, what L&I is doing is now going back and checking who didn't renew their license to make sure that they're not continuing to rent without renewing their licenses. One of the things with technology, and I think as one of our challenges in the city has been our ability to cross-reference. We passed a bill that if you owe city taxes, you can't get zoning anymore. We've taken some steps. The bottom line is whoever wants to cheat is going to cheat. We're not going to find everybody.
You get your fair share of money, so you have to
Absolutely.
and knock down the libraries and knock down this and not. I mean, if everyone's paying their fair share, it wouldn't be so hard on the people that
I totally agree. That's the biggest argument we hear from people. We do taxes for the law-abiding, tax-paying people, not for the others.